Now we're live.
All right, we're here. We're live.
We're here. This day has flown by.
Yeah, we look like real businessmen here today. We had to do some real businessing today. Some pitching, some sales pitching, or not sales, strategy pitching to some to our potential suitors, which would be the village's commercial development. So I think we got a good shot. I think I did a good job.
Yeah.
A good job presenting, showing, getting a point across who we are and what we're planning. When you put together a business plan, it forces you to actually put a plan together. Put some numbers on paper, which I don't do. I normally just dream it, do it. So this is a dream it, write it down, then do it. So yeah, we're talking about doing a showroom type design studio in one of the town squares, and then I built a marketing plan and a structural business plan around that, and trying to estimate costs and things to figure out what that might look like. And I think we did. I think we nailed it. Yeah.
You did really well. I took a couple pictures, sneakily taking pictures from the side. I showed those to
sneaking them in there.
Your mom and dad. I figured they'd be proud.
Yeah.
So that's good. I told them you did really well. Your mom said, did he go long again, or did he go short? I said, well, actually it went longer than yesterday, but it was good because they were asking questions.
Yeah.
And they were genuinely interested. So
yeah, I was trying to read the room, and actually I put our mock up on Inside the Hex. It should be up there. If it's not up there right now, it'll be up there sometime today of the mock one that I did yesterday, just to kind of show people what I'm thinking, what I'm putting together here.
Yeah,
and
so if you want to see the pitch, you can actually see it.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
So I need some help.
What you need help with?
Ratcheting wrenches. So the Sonics, I've liked the Sonics. They're decent. I think they feel like a 50, 48 tooth, something like that. And then the new Stahlvillas, I was assuming would be my savior, but I love their regular wrenches, but I don't like their ratcheting. It's not very good. I mean, the engagement's okay. It's got this pretty easy to use, but I think you're going to end up hitting the switch all the time while you're working on it. I don't really love that. There's got to be something better. Somebody had suggested Facom 467, which is a French tool manufacturer. I might get a set of those, but gear wrench is are they? I didn't like the Snap-ons that I got. I felt like they were greasy, not great. The only thing great about Snap-ons is they did make some long arm, like some long handled, double closed end wrenches. So hit us up in the comments here. Where should I be turning my attention to be looking for ratcheting wrenches? Somebody I posted in the Facebook group and he said Pittsburgh. Stop trolling.
Doesn't sound
me.
like your type.
Yeah, Harbor Freight. No. I use a Wera Jokers. I didn't like the Weras very much. SKX frame. Okay, there we go. Is in a league of their own, but not sure what features you prefer. I like that they're rather minimalist. I'll check those out. SKX frame. Let's see what they look like.
Well, you're doing some research there. Let's see. Ben wants to know, do you have any thoughts on the Ren Torque center wheel nut tool as the good option to the high torque best option?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how accurate could a torque multiplier be? I would think you would multiply your error. So I'm inclined to just choose. Well, these do look good. I'm inclined to choose and just do a regular like a click style torque wrench.
Just a regular wrench.
Yeah. I mean, I guess maybe the Ren Torque just for removal, but then you still need I think you would still need a torque wrench, like a Precision Instruments or a Sonic or a Stahlvilla or something like that, in order to torque it. But maybe they can correct me if I'm wrong. I saw it. I didn't put too much thought into it because I just never liked torque multipliers. And the Ren Torque, I think it has a reaction arm. Maybe I don't fully understand it, but I wasn't in love with it. Unless it was going to be fully automated. The high torque was always the thing that I had my heart set on, of something that was fully automated. Before then, I really didn't have that much of a problem. Just get somebody to sit in the seat and hold the steering wheel and push the brake down. That's the only real disadvantage of having to do it, break it loose with a torque wrench. But I used my Precision Instruments for years for $400, and that worked great. But maybe the Rent Torque works well. I'm not sure. It just didn't interest me very much. I think that their tool is like $1,000 or something like that, so it's not crazy. But I'd be inclined to save my money and wait and get the high torque.
Couple wrench updates for you from people. 27 Motorsports says right wrenches possibly. WRIGHT.
Yeah, we need ratcheting.
Okay.
So who's the leader in ratcheting? I think the leader in regular is Stavilla.
All right, Brad Young says SK Tools have nice ratchet wrenches.
That's what somebody else is saying. SK X Drive from Facebook.
Anna, we have a lady in the chat, says Facom, where'd it go, is owned Stanley Black & Decker, so you can probably get the Mac or other SBD variety. Then she follows up with, did you try the Hazette ones?
Yeah, they're terrible. They're not made in Germany. They're like a 24 tooth. The advantage of having less teeth is that theoretically you could apply more torque, but if I haven't broken the Taiwanese, snap-ons, and I've leaned into these suckers with all I got and haven't broken them, and these are like a 50 or 48 or so, something like that. Right now, my favorite is still the Sonic, but this is made in Taiwan, I think, probably.
Proto. Proto.
I'll check those out. I think Proto is an Italian tool manufacturer. I think.
So that's your suggestions, Mark.
Yeah, I'll keep looking. Those SKs look pretty interesting. Same with the Facombs.
Mike McCullough says my garage floor is epoxy coated. Looks great, but texture is bad with the flakes. Would there be any issue with doing Swiss tracks on top? Should have just listened to you in the first place.
No, it works great. It's actually a really nice, really expensive, but a really nice combination. I had that in my very first house, and that now mine probably looked way worse than yours did. Mine didn't have the chips. I tried to do it without the chips, and it was just terrible. Turned brown, just gross, super slippery. But yeah, it actually works really great because now your floor is protected and sealed, if you will, and then you put the Swiss tracks over top of it, and it'll look better. The combination of the two actually works really well.
We also had that in the old OGHQ building on one side of the building because Chris, the building owner, had epoxied the floor first.
Yeah, his was red, white, and blue. Yeah. Not ideal.
Very patriotic.
Yeah. White base with red and blue speckles. Yeah, and not like the dense chip system. It was more like just a little sparse blue and red. It's not good.
Like a flower girl would walk down the aisle just throwing them.
It's not good.
Let's see. Any update, Alex wants to know, on the Bilt-Hamber container? Alex, last I heard, the first week of July is when it's scheduled to arrive in port. What that means for us, I'm not sure yet. But
it's a freaking. We have to send out an email. It's been a freaking disaster.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Just trying to get logistics companies to work, especially in Europe, is like pulling teeth. I was under the impression that it was when we launched it was on the water, ready to go, or at least being picked up. So, it's going to be several weeks late, which frustrates the heck out of me. But it's coming.
Yeah, as soon as they get here, Alex will ship them out the door. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit. Let's see. AFH says, I just watched the mock presentation video. So I guess it is up.
Nice.
One thing I've learned from giving professional presentations over the years is to not hand out your materials while speaking. No one listens. Do it after.
No, I like doing that because I don't. The way I want to read through it I don't want to have to look the guy in the eye. Just you present, leave me alone, and let me learn while you're teaching me. But I like to multitask. So I was cool. I think I even told them in the main presentation that, hey, feel free to dig through this while I'm showing you what I'm showing you. I'll let you know when you need to look up.
Yeah, they actually got them, yesterday from Bryn, or maybe today?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so we sent them to them ahead of time. Yeah. That's another thing you could do is we got them to them a day ahead of time, which means they were already prepared, so they didn't have to look through it while we're going.
Yeah, Gino, I saw, had some Post-it notes. He had made some notes there.
Yeah.
So that was good. Mike wants to know, is there any OG solution for portable cases / bags to carry and store the Merca polisher? It's way too expensive to just leave hanging around.
Yeah, I don't know. Question. I'm more of a toss it in the drawer kind of guy, or tool grid it in the drawer. If you're mobile, I'm not sure. It's small, it's compact. Maybe get like a Toomey like toiletry bag or something like that, something fancy.
Just a little Pelican case and cut out the phone.
Yeah.
And put it in there.
Yeah, what would work well is like Milwaukee has all those little bags. They have little they have either Velcro or a little elastic strap in them that would work well. No, it would kind of clash and they're red, but you get by yourself. Shoot, why am I tired? I would buy yourself a Surge, an M12 Surge, and then you could use that case, the case that comes with. Make sure you buy the full kit. That would hold it pretty well, I think.
Let's see. Aaron says, "Is BrakeBuster neat/straight dilution in a foam cannon safe for C5 ceramic coated wheels for maintenance cleaning?"
Oh yeah, that'll be fine. Because remember, your foam cannon is diluting it. Even if you were using it straight in a spray bottle and doing undiluted, you'd be fine as well. But yeah, you'll be fine.
Enthusiast wants to know: is there any update on different colors for the OG hose?
No. The only color option would really be black, and the black I don't think it looks very good. It's not as good looking. Nothing on the horizon. I would love to have gray, black, and blue, but I don't know if they're going to let us buy small quantities, and I don't know if there's a nice gray version yet.
We got a super chat here, $4.99 US from Greg Fowler. His first super chat ever. Hoping you have a rant about this whole body deodorant nonsense I keep seeing ads for.
What?
Freaking take a shower. I haven't seen that ad. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. No.
Whole body deodorant. So maybe you don't shower.
That's probably not chemically advisable. I would think it's probably not a good idea.
Do's and don'ts when creating an LLC. Tips and tricks. Would like to create one for real estate.
It's pretty simple. You just go to your state will have, like in Florida, you go to sunbiz.org and you just, you have to submit what an articles of incorporation, and you then apply on the IRS website, irs.gov, for an EIN number, and there really aren't any tips, and then you can use that EIN number to go open up a bank account so you can, commingle. I guess the tip to you would be, don't get yourself in audit trouble. Don't always be conservative. I want to sit in a room with an auditor if when that day comes. It's probably not if, but when. And I want to be able to look them in the eye and be perfectly candid and say, here's everything we did, which we always erred on the side of conservative. So I paid more tax than I probably could have tried to squeeze, and so I don't want to have to sit there and argue back and forth. I want it to be pretty letter of the law-ish. The only thing that's questionable for us is the cars and that we classify them as a prop. Because we're able to take a full, Section 179 depreciation schedule on it. So take it all in 1 year, upfront 80% depreciation up front, which, technically they could argue, and I think I can make a strong case for why I'd be able to accept that. But if you are going to set up a business, if you're going to dinner for business, then keep the receipt and write it off. If you're going to dinner with your family, don't do it. Just always err on the side of caution. If you're, just try don't fudge mileage and stuff like that. Just stay honest with it, because you want to be able to sit in front of a judge and not perjure yourself. That would be my tip or advice.
Let's see. Back to the ratcheting wrenches here. Anna says SK is 6-point only, and if I remember right, it has several skips.
Yeah, I don't think I would like a 6-point. It'd be hard to get it locked onto the bolt.
Then Ben has a suggestion that I think you'll appreciate here. He says get 2 sets of Stahlvilla ratcheting wrenches, lock a set into one direction, and remove the switch to remove the problem.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't like that. I think I have some Sonics that are unidirectional. You just flip it over, and I don't like that. I do like the little switch thingy.
We are going to get you going on rant on that.
Oh, jeez.
But first, a super chat, $100 US.
It's our friend MWF80. Thank you, sir.
MWF80 says
he keeps you employed, Chris.
Thanks.
So.
Yeah. Matt splits all these super chats with me.
I divided it up equally across the entire census, and that's how it works.
Let's see. Hey, Matt. This is from Jordan. Just picked up my 2024 Ranger Raptor.
Okay.
I want to polish and coat it.
Mm-hmm.
But in the past, I've done one truck with CSL Exo, and then I've also done Shine Supply paint coating on another.
Mm-hmm.
In both vehicles, they got rained on a couple weeks after and sat outside my work in the sun, and I was never able to get the water spots off, even with polishing. Is it the Utah weather, the coating, or just bad luck? What would you do?
That's bad luck. I mean, you could get the water spots out. You just have to recreate the conditions. So you might have to pull it out in the sun again and polish it in the sun. Or like I used an IR lamp, where I heated it up to about 120 degrees so it would release it. So what you want to do first is use something like DIY water spot remover or Optimum MDR, which is a mineral deposit remover, or maybe CarPro Spotless. You want to try to chemically remove as much of the water spot as possible. And then you would want to, then polish, but get the car up to temp, or the paint up to temp, to try to remove it. Yeah, I mean, it's part of a coating, the disadvantage to the potential for water spotting. So hopefully you won't experience that again. So what happens is you have minerals in the rainwater, and the sun comes out right away and then burns it into the paint. That's the struggle. It's bad luck.
Steven wants to know, is there any idea on when we might be seeing the Pro Slat cabinet install video, and when they'll be available on the OG website?
They're available through design, so the guys can design them for you. Now, they are going to be up on the website in the next week or two. The guys have it almost done. The video should be up, I would guess, next week.
And then any ideas on what the guys thought of them after they were installed?
They loved them. They're going to be a real hot ticket, real big seller. Yeah. I've seen them. The reason why we got them was because they were I wasn't able to go do Wabas because I was preparing for this pitch. But I'll go out there and we'll share you all my thoughts of them. But I spent some time with them at SEMA.
Justin is requesting an update on two things: press all tips,
okay.
Any update there, stainless tips, and taps, so the 5-liter Bilt-Hamber products.
Yeah, good question. I have to see if the tap fits on the Bilt-Hamber. I have to test that out. The tips, we got two options. We got brass and stainless in the production version. They work well. They look good. They actually look better than my big honking prototypes that I had. We're working on them because the fluorinated bottles, the ones we got are pea yellow, and they shouldn't be. And the new sprayers with the new internals, I haven't tested it yet, but it functions well, but hopefully it can last long with brake buster and chemicals like that. So I'm not sure. They're just so slow to, you darn Europeans work like 3 months out of the year. So it's hard to get anybody to do anything. It takes forever.
Let's see. Basil has a comment here. This may be a good Inside the Hex video here.
Okay.
Happy Friday, all. Would be cool if we could get an update on the full OG management staff and what they're responsible for nowadays.
Yeah, that would be a good video to make.
Good idea, Basil. I'll email him that, remind about that. Let's see. Ben says, thanks for brightening up the video feed. Was going to say something about it.
Well, good news is a big upgrade from last time. We're in air conditioning, right? Mm-hmm. So our air conditioning is functioning. I can hear it.
Yep.
We're not supposed to be able to hear it, but eventually we'll be able to set it up so you
better.
can't hear it. It's nice in temperature, humidity. It's good. We're not exactly sure. It might get a $27,000 electric bill, so we'll see how that works. But I also made an air conditioning update video on the Inside the Hex as well, so you want to go check that out. The conference room here, I made them clean all their junk out of here, so that's good. I don't know where it went. I don't care where it went, as long as it went out of here. And so I'm kind of pumped about having a conference room. This is the first time I'd ever presented in my own conference room. Yeah,
yesterday
when I did my mock little presentation. Yeah, but we need to get rid of all this yellow light.
Well, that's Cars of JR says, is it just me or the lights in the room? The video looks yellow.
Yeah, well, it's yellow. It's more yellow in the room than it looks like on the video. It's terrible. But this is the style. This is either 2700K, Some of them are actually probably 4K, but it's just not. It's all halide or fluorescent. Yeah.
JR says that Torque Test Channel just did a test on multipliers. It was neat.
Yeah.
Maybe worth watching. Let's see. What's the benefit of CSL and EXO? Could you elect to just use one or the other? For example, just CSL. Jeffrey wants to.
There's actually a really good video. I think they just posted it last week on the why. Why you would do both. So part of the nanoparticle size of CSL is that it actually gets down into the paint layer. And then EXO helps to sort of even it all out, so you have proper water and chemical behavior. They explain it in much better form. I just kind of watched it in the background or skimmed through it. But check out that video on the G-Technic channel. They explain why you would want both and why they work well together. But yeah, you want both if you have the choice.
Rephrase says, I've been using my Blue Shield non-marking smooth jacket gray Kevlar hose. That's a lot of words. $250, but it's probably going to replace my OG hose.
Yeah, I've got to get one of those to test out. I think Tommy had one coming because it's lighter weight and the Kevlar replaces the wire. But yeah, I need to check that thing out.
Let's see. Aaron wants to know, hey Matt, do you have any thoughts on Bilt-Hamber's Surfex?
Yeah, it's decent. It's just an all-purpose cleaner. It seems to work pretty well. I didn't notice anything earth-shattering about it, but he uses a lot underneath the car. I think it has some rust-inhibiting stuff in it as well. We'll be tackling Surfex and some of the other products, Auto Foam and some of the other ones as the second and third rounds of stuff come out. We'll be sharing more information about those and as I dig into them.
Let's see here. Neil White says, is OG selling button-down shirts now? No, Neil, this is a one of one right here. I got this from Land's End. I got this one and another one to try and look for occasions like today when I need to look half decent and I'll wear a t-shirt. And it's great because we set the bar low. Just like Bryn, everybody who recognized Bryn today, they're like, oh man, you're actually dressed up. Just wear t-shirts all the time. When you do dress up, people think you look nice. That's how it goes. A couple people here. So Jack and also Tom Butler. Did you sell the GT3? There's a similar spec at Ryan Friedman.
I was going to say, where are these people getting this information from? No.
Similar spec. Let's see. What do you think of the Stahlvilla torque wrench? I'm looking to get one.
It's
Garage.
Pretty incredible. So they make 7 or 8 different versions. The version to get is I believe the N series, I think it is. Yeah, they have a quick version, an N series, and then they have the digital versions. You want the one where we pop the tab out and twist. I'll be bringing those in the store here, but yeah, I'm in love with them. They're incredible, and I like the ones that aren't fixed head, so you can put different types of you can put an open end wrench on it, you can put a closed end wrench, you can put a ratchet on it, you can put a like if you had a 3/4 drive or something, you can put an adapter head on it. You can put all different types of things on it. It's pretty sweet. They're really freaking expensive though, so you better be ready to pony up. At least $1,000. Yeah.
D. Ryan says, what is the gray polisher that you've been trying out? I didn't see it in the store.
Yeah, they are due to hit, I think, next week is what Demo is telling us. So it's LE, Liquid Elements. We have version 1 coming. We have 150 of them. I'm sure they're going to sell out in about 10 seconds. But the first version, first round, and I think that version 2 is on the water, I think. So the next batch will be coming after that, and then I think we have 20,000 coming. So I don't know what we're going to do with that. But I'm pretty sure we have like 4 containers or something coming after that. So we're going to have limited supply, and then I promise I didn't do this on purpose. This is just what was available after the UL approvals. But I think we may be going to – there's not a huge difference between version 1 and version 2, just a detachable cord and a little ECU adjustment. And I think it's like $10 or $15 more. So those of you who want like early adopted version 1, I mean, there isn't that much of a difference. But this time we're not doing a pre-order. We're going to do when it's here, then we put it up. So they're waiting to pull the trigger. I believe it's in customs, so I believe we should have it next week or the following, barring no holdups.
And you really like it.
It's great.
And what's the price point on it?
I think it's like $209 or something like that. It'd be sick.
Maverick says, hey, Matt, what exterior/interior colors, cabinets, flooring, etc. did you and Michelle select for the Middleton house?
Exterior is white. Like just white on, I forget which version of white. Interior walls have a slight sort of gray, sort of on the brown spectrum of gray. And the flooring, we had such limited choice. It had to be tile, so it's like that kind of wood-looking tile. Because almost everybody does LVP. There's nothing luxury about it. But they do frickin' plastic flooring, which grosses me. It's just terrible. And so like 90% of the homes they choose, they all get talked in. I said, don't even show me that crap. What are my best tile options? So it's the kind of long, it's to emulate like wide plank, wood flooring, because they don't give you a wood flooring option. So it's it's on the sort of the brown spectrum of gray, because we didn't want another gray house like what we got. So we warmed it up a little bit, but then went with gray tones on like the quartz. And white cabinets, and we also did black cabinets, so like a dark kind of wood. I think it was called black ash. So it's like a wood type. The cabinets are hot garbage. I mean, they are just the cheapest garbage you've ever seen in your life from Wellburn. They went to Wellburn just like Corvette goes to Recaro and says, "Hey, what's your cheapest seat? All right, can we make it like 50% cheaper and 100% worse?" Those are the cabinets we're getting. So luckily there aren't a lot of them, so if I did want to replace them someday, I could. But, and so we did like white subway tile, which Michelle doesn't like. We did we did black grout in the subway tile, which is, kind of probably already out of style. But, this is a cookie cutter, simple house, nice place. I'll show it to you soon. But it's going to be our showroom for our new Middleton. It'll be like our actual, which Michelle's going to hate, by the way, because I'm going to say, this place needs to be dialed in at all times, lady. Keep it clean. They're going to hate that because they're thinking this is their house and they're going to do whatever they want. Well, as always, I always figure out a way to make it a business. She's going to be so ticked off about that.
Oh, man.
But we're going to have a lighting showcase and nature cast and alfresco and probably swap the appliances for cool appliances. And, we're going to be doing all the cool stuff. Cree lighting, DMF lighting, Dyne audio speakers, all the neat stuff in there. And they're not going to like that.
Ron Saluki says, I purchased a Rupes HLR21 last month.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to thank the team for getting the polisher sent to me in Japan where I'm stationed. Please thank the team for their support.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
I don't know if we're allowed to do that. Maybe we're going to keep that on the down low.
Sorry, Ron. Oh, yeah.
But he's a U.S. citizen just because he's going to bring it back with him, I'm sure.
Japan, Wyoming is where that was. Japan is the city of Wyoming.
Rupes, cut that part out.
Let's see. Good afternoon from sunny Minnesota from our buddy Dan Pfeiffer. Looking sharp, Chris. Thanks, Dan. Joseph says, if you need a driver when you visit Rytec, I live about an hour away in Madison. We'll be happy to chauffeur you around for a day. There you go. You got that lined up. Are you going to visit Rytec?
Yep. Yep. Rytec approved. So they sponsored the project.
Nice.
Because not a long story, but they weren't going to, and then they. Actually, I got to call Chuck.
I saw the original numbers.
I got to call Chuck and get all the schematics so we can submit our app. We need to get our permits pulled and get moving. We cut giant holes in the side of the building. That's going to be interesting.
The details in me wants to know, will you ever carry more products from the Bilt-Hamber line?
Well, we're going to have the whole line here in the U.S. through Bilt-Hamber's site, right, direct, and we'll fulfill it. We'll probably have some more. I mean, if it makes the cut and supplants something else in my process or adds to the process, we'd add it. But generally speaking, we're going to have a half a dozen products in the Obsessed Garage store, but most of it will be done through Bilt-Hamber direct.
Ben says, gear wrench ratcheting wrenches also flip. There's no switching, so probably not your bag.
Mm-hmm.
The 180-degree swivel head is pretty nice, though.
Yeah. So, lots of the companies have that. I think they all probably get it from the same, factory in Taiwan. There's this company called Oso or something like that I found that had this really cool looking stuff, but they're just, I guess they're just probably anodizing in black or something. But there's I might order a couple of those, but they look like the same ones as the Sonics, similar probably manufacturer, because they have this same little switch thingy. But they do it in like a gold, and the wrenches are all black. And I've been following them on Instagram for a while. I'm not sure who sent me that or if I found it myself. I'm not sure.
All right, back to Jordan, the trucks and the water spotting.
Okay.
I'm wondering which coating you would use. I remember that Kyle, I believe, did CSL alone. That's true.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's doing. Don't listen to him.
But you would use what, CSL XO?
Yeah.
TDAS 250. Are there options for upper cabinets that are taller than 28 inches? I'm looking for large/tall upper cabinets.
Let's see. Rousseau, I believe we can do bigger. The Sonics are wide, they're the flip up style. The Listas are 30-inch, and I think in Rousseau, I think we can do up to 42. So I think they have custom options. If you go to the design page and you just fill out the form and ask Kyle, he'll know.
Let's see. We need more of Mike F's purple bug on the videos. Got to have him take it out once in a while for us.
Yeah, he doesn't take it out much.
No, I've only seen it once in person. Let's see. Wow, Chris must have an interview today, all dressed up. Good luck, my friend. Pizza for lunch is the best. Thanks,
it was weird. Like this is our first time in years having to go do like a real. You've done several business meetings at the banks and stuff like that. I don't do any of it. So I had to like wear a darn polo shirt, I was thinking about putting my new suit on that I bought. How funny would that have been? Then it'd be like this douchebag salesman here. That was
that's good.
That's a rare experience now to have to go do some businessing.
I actually brought a change of clothes because I was ready to get out of this, but we'll see.
With our new air conditioning, it's not bad in here.
It's not terrible. Let's see. Finally picked up the Ego 20-inch commercial chainsaw. I mentioned a while back. This is from Ben.
Yeah.
This thing is a monster.
I bet.
I helped a neighbor with their down tree just so I could play with it.
Yeah. Just imagine, it's electric is going to have tons of torque, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We have the Ego pressure washer, by the way, is live in the store now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This next week, because I'm heading to I freaking said I'd never go to a wedding again, and somehow I'm going to my buddy's wedding. And I feel like I owe him. He was in my wedding, but that was 20 years ago. So I'm not in. Thank God I'm not in his wedding. But he, he's 42 years old, getting married. I feel like I owe it to him. First time getting married.
All right, let's see. Mac, according to Anna, is non-U.S. made. Facom USAG, non-US made. Proto are very similar wrench-wise. Proto US made are really good.
I thought Proto was, maybe I'm thinking of, what's that? Beta is what I'm thinking of in Italy.
Obsessed Mobile Detailing says, my new garage is 20 by 23.
Okay.
Got 9-foot ceilings.
Yep.
How many Cree fixtures would I need?
20 by 23, I would probably do 3 rows, and I would probably do 6 8-footers, I think would do it. But you'd be best served, have the guys model it and do a lighting calc for you, and they'll tell you, exactly what you'll need.
John M. wants to know, do you do Average Joe's garage designs?
Yeah, for sure. Anything from just basic, you want some flooring, or you want some lighting, or you want, just a simple setup. I mean, we can do anything. And we don't, if it's simple and we can put it together in an hour or so, it doesn't cost you anything, What we may do, just so you don't jerk us around, is charge you a $1,000 deposit, if we're going to have to render it and draw it all out for you. And then we'll just have that $1,000, count towards your purchase. But if you just need some help with the flooring design, or need some basic, I want to do a pressure washer and a couple of cabinets, we don't charge anything for that. We just hopefully make the money off you buying the products from us.
Let's see. 27 Motorsports says, how did you feel about that disaster detail Coach Shimmy was doing in your Helen garage?
Yeah, they told me they'd clean up afterwards, so I let them do it.
Or
I was supposed to meet them there, and then we had just bitten off more than we could chew with LZ and Lena's kitchen and all that stuff, so we couldn't go up, and so they did a good job keeping it clean.
JR wants to know, is Canadian distribution set up now?
No, the plan is October, so which that means Matt says October. That means probably February. So we'll see. We're working on it.
Andrew wants to know, hey Matt, any ideas what would cause poor foam production from a Griot's foam cannon? It's fairly new. I've tried different amounts of soap from 50 to 150 milliliters with no change in foam.
So even if it's new, I would double check and make sure the filter's clean. Maybe even grab an extra filter. Do we have the filter kits in the store? I hope so. Well, you pop the nozzle off and the filter's in there, the black tube or the black nozzle. I would also double check, make sure you open up your. I take the quick disc or the plug off. Just make sure that the orifice isn't plugged up. It probably isn't. Then there's like a rebuild kit or something that there it is.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, $15.
Yeah. So unfortunately, you will only need a couple of those, but it's not a bad idea to have those parts laying around. And the other thing to test, go grab yourself a gallon of distilled water, from the grocery store, just to make sure it's not your water. I mean, your water might be really hard, and the soap is just not activating. So you want to rule that out. Then also, try warm water as well. So if you first rule out the water, if it's not the water, maybe try warming it up a little bit, and try a different soap. Just make sure maybe you don't have a bad batch of soap. So you want to kind of take one variable at a time and just kind of work your way through it to figure out what the deal is. But it's usually either clogged filter, which can happen quickly, or depending on your water conditions, or it's your hardness of your water and the soap is just being counteracted by it. If that's the case, then I would just get a bunch of distilled water or get a CR Spotless and use DI water every time you put water in the foam cannon.
Got a super chat here from Spencer, $4.99. Will the next garage giveaway also be open to detailing shops? I'm hoping I win this next one to outfit my 70 by 96 shop.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, we'll do any garage necessary. Now, we may not be able to fill that whole building because we have an $85,000 budget, but for sure, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised someday if we end up doing a detail shop for somebody. We've certainly designed a bunch of them and sold lots of stuff for lots of different detail shops. But yeah, absolutely we would do that.
All right, related to that from Mac, what if someone with a single car garage won a garage giveaway? Would you prefer if they just took the cash or take on the challenge with the limited space?
Heck no, we'd do it. I mean, we kind of converted the first garage giveaway into a single car garage. So yeah, we'll just pack it tight with all kinds of fancy crap, You get a lot of money, bang for your buck. We'd try to put cabinets on the ceiling and, just make that thing dense.
Let's see. Beta is Italian, according to Anna.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
A couple questions here about ToolGrid. Any updates on the new ToolGrid stuff?
Yep, they just shipped it to us, I believe. So it landed Canada side, and now it's heading down here stateside to us. So we should be launching it here very soon.
And then Anna wants to know, can we get the different color grid, like purple or orange, through OG?
I don't think so. A lot of those colors are proprietary to some of their other vendors that requested them. So I appreciate the support, but if you wanted those colors, you probably have to either get them direct or from whatever dealer like Oso Tools or Mac Tools or wherever they're providing them from. They also have a green one as well. Unless you're going to buy a ton of it, I don't think we can really get it.
86, this is good, says, Chris, good luck with your interview at Turtle Wax. I'll be sad to see you go. That's good stuff. All right. Matt, any plans to bring the 8mm and rotary LE polishers to the United States?
I mean, the plan is to bring the entire LE line here. So, I won't be selling them through the Obsessed Garage site, but once Demo, who's the U.S. representative, gets some revenue going, get some cash flow going, then he's going to be able to bring more products to the U.S. with the intent that you would go to le.com, which would be the U.S. version of the site, or it would geofence know where you're at, and then it'll show you what you can and can't buy. And so the plan would be to have the bulk and the vast majority of the products here in the U.S. It's going to take us probably 18 months to make that happen. But yeah, all that stuff will be coming. I would think eventually we may be able to do, I'm sure Demo would be willing to field those emails, in that, like, let's say you had a list of things you wanted, he could make like a special order list and throw them on the container when it comes over. So I'm sure we'll be able to start doing stuff like that in the future as well. We may build that into the website, like a special request. Hey, we don't have this or that, and we can throw a gallon or two, or as long as you made it worth our while and bought a decent amount of stuff, we could probably throw it on the container until we get everything here.
Darren says, after 5 years, I think it's time to recoat my SUV that's currently coated with CSL.
Okay.
Will a one-step with Sonac's Perfect Finish and Rupes Yellow be enough to remove the old CSL?
Maybe, but probably not. You probably want to... I find that Jescar with microfiber is like the minimum, or Jescar with wool would be the minimum. But you could probably remove enough of it that you could just put a new coat of CSL. I just wouldn't be as confident with the bonding that I'm going to get if I didn't at least, compound it.
Purdy Auto Pros, getting back to this for just a second, do you plan to bring in Bilt-Hamber's Surfx HD?
Yep.
Then he says, forensic detailing got me to try it out, and I am impressed.
Yeah, 100%. We're going to have the entire line here. It's going to take us, we have a roughly, I think, 13, 14-month plan to get every product here, including all of the, the body shop type stuff. And so we're going to bring all the, the whole line of stuff here. It's just, we have a plan to execute that.
CK Mac wants to know, I'm doing my first post-winter wash up in in New England tonight.
Okay.
Should I just do iron removal first, or start with a round of decon soap first?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do, full on, I would decon it. Use OG decon soap, CarPro D-Scale, something that's high alkaline and that's designed to do that. Kind of try to strip it, and then you would iron remove it, and then clay it, and then polish it, and then recoat.
Enthusiast wants to know, do you know of a smooth jacket 1/4-inch pressure washer hose?
Not a good one. Yeah, I mean, Gates has one that we've gotten a sample of that's pretty awesome, but the minimums for us to buy are like 500,000 feet or something crazy, so we haven't gotten it yet. But no, there isn't a good one, not that I've found.
Boss says, hey guys, got my Vera screwdrivers from OG. Thanks for the recommendation.
Nice.
Barbecue Jones, our buddy out in Arizona who won the giveaway last year, the shopping spree, says, can't believe it's already been a year since I was out there.
Yeah, shoot. A lot of time is flying, man. It's wild.
Will it be pretty easy to switch out from the CR Spotless to the OG model?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to build a pathway to that where there'll be a certain, piping or a kit that will try to make it as simple as possible. So we're hoping to install my system, my dual system in my garage next week, so we can really start doing some rigorous testing, make sure everything's functioning. We're having a little problem with Fred's that we installed with the sensor, the TDS sensor. So we've got to do some troubleshooting there. We knew that this is part of the deal, and so before I start, everybody keeps emailing, "Hey, can I get one now?" I'm like, you don't want the problems. You don't want to have to deal with it because we don't know how this is going to work, and so we want to spend some time with it and really dig into it.
It's also been a year since we started the GT3 RS giveaway, believe it or not. That was June of last year. I was looking at some numbers today.
Yeah.
Time flies. Let's see. Can we get an OG polo shirt? Mike McCullough wants to know. We've had some in the past.
Yeah. They're on the docket to have at some point.
That one's a kind of an older.
Yeah, this was a OGO base shirt.
We did some
like $900. It wasn't cheap. It was like $60 or something like that.
We did some for the giveaway last year, the Nike polos. But
yeah, I didn't really like those very much.
Let's see. Jim B says, I've got an Active 2.0.
Okay.
What do you think about I don't know if he's a WYE connection on unit, then two 50-foot hoses, one with a short gun, one with a foam cannon, use one at a time. Don't see a WYE quick connect on your site.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like a splitter?
I don't know what he's talking about. So,
I thought I was done.
Yeah. I mean,
like splitter,
it takes like 2 seconds. That's why we have the quick disconnect on the end of the gun, so we can swap between, foam cannon and the other. So, I mean, the advantage of having two separate setups would be if you were going to do like a dedicated foaming lance, like you had a big 55-gallon drum of soap or solution that you were going to pull in or siphon in. Then I think it would make sense to have a couple of hoses, a couple of hose reels, and split it. But there's some problems in that, and that you have to clear the line, and it's very doable, but unless you're going to do a separate tank, I'm not sure what the benefit would be.
Brian wants to know, when will the new design buckets be in the store? And is it only the stickers or new components as well? Thanks.
Just different color base buckets, different color gamma seals, and bucket dollies. There's no real improvement in the design at all. It's still the 6-gallon Letica buckets with the grit guard components. With 3-inch casters, and then we have the detail guards, insert. We're going to have better vinyl that fits better. So the plan is to launch the blue, the Matt Mormon spec blue and white bucket package here any day. And then we have a couple of different versions for the giveaway coming in July.
Revolution Detailing Supplies wants to know, what are your thoughts on the Rupes HLR 15?
It's okay. The disadvantage is also its advantage. It's super smooth, but it stalls a lot, right? It is really ergonomic, but then the battery gets in the way. And I'm suspect that any new product, they'll have some potential warranty issues. Mine stopped working. It started to smell like it was on fire. And, it also doesn't work with like every pad. Pads will throw it off balance, certain pads, certain polishes, certain paint stuff. So it's good. But I said this in the video. I said, well, now I hate my Milwaukee and I hate my Rupes. So I hate both of them, because the Rupes makes you aware of how not smooth the Milwaukee is, and the Milwaukee makes you aware of how weirdly sort of ergonomic but not fully functional the Rupes is. And then the Rupes stalls like crazy, which you can work around if you have some skill. So I don't think that's a deal breaker. But it's kind of a lot of money. I tell you what, the new LE cordless that we'll have coming out, that'll be $300 less. I have the prototype, which is nowhere near as good as the production's going to be. It's freaking good. I hate this. I hate that it's that good. But man, every time when I was doing those E30s, I just using the darn LE the whole time. Yeah.
Our buddy Blend Mount chimes in. He says, "Hey, OG team, Matt, any plan on adding radar detectors and mounts collection to the Obsessed Garage store?"
Yeah, Sebastian's been after me for years, but the darn radar detectors have like 6% margin and 100% headache. So I don't know. Probably not.
Joseph is curious as to why you swore off weddings.
It's freaking stupid. The whole thing is dumb. So to go sit there, and then nothing's worse than seeing a bunch of white people do the freaking electric slide or whatever they do. It's so unbelievably stupid. And then everybody just there to get drunk, and that grosses me out. Right. And the food is horrible. Okay. Every time. It's like eating, you make fun of hotel wedding food. Just gross. I don't want any of that. They always try to make it fancy. The cake is horrible. I've never had a good. They always put like raspberry dripping in the cake, right? And just as soon as I see that, just throw it away. Or they'll do cream cheese icing with strawberry jam, throughout, which is just horrible. And then they're so excited. How is the cake? Is the cake? Oh, and everybody sits around saying how everything's so good, which they're all lying to each other.
Right.
And you're sitting there uncomfortable in a goofy suit. Mm-hmm. And then you got to do everybody starts. It's just freaking stupid. And then they play the music so loud, no one can talk to anybody. It's just dumb. The whole thing is dumb. So.
There you go, Joseph.
Terrible food,
mm-hmm.
terrible dancing,
yeah.
Terrible people. It's just the whole thing is terrible. Just wait till my rant comes next week after Nate's wedding.
Oh, man.
He doesn't watch this anyway, so he won't care.
He don't mind.
But it's going to be terrible. I'm only going because my best buddies are going. So I should have just sent him 2 G's and said, hey, can I not come? And I could have.
What will it cost me to not attend your wedding? Please don't.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said to Mike T, and then I still went anyway. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing here? This is terrible. Bunch of freaking white people dancing, looking like idiots. It's the worst.
So maybe someone listening to this podcast will be at the wedding, and if so, send us a video of Matt doing the electric slide.
There's no chance. Now, what's the thing they do? It's not the electric slide. It's
Cupid shuffle.
I don't know, whatever. It's basically playing the hokey pokey, but right foot in.
2 kicks.
What is that? What is it they call it? There's 2 versions of it.
There's a Cupid shuffle, and there's something I don't know what that one's called. It's probably better.
There's the white people version. There's the black people version. But the white people version try to do the black people version. They look like morons trying to do it. It's so stupid. Oh my god!
Right foot one time.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think that's Cupid. Now I got it.
I can hear the darn song in my head.
Oh yeah, the
cha-cha slide. Yeah, that's the black people version that the white people do.
Okay. I'll practice this later. Brian D61 says Liquid Elements A1000 version 4 cordless nano polisher. Is that in the future as well?
Yes, that's what I was talking about.
What you're just talking about.
Yep.
Prototype. Hey, Matt, what's your opinion? A G80 M3 Competition X Drive or a 6MT? I know you don't care for the purple pig nose.
You definitely want to do the manual if you can. It's just so much more fun, more engaging. I know that everything's faster about the ZF, auto, but who the heck wants that? So yeah, I would highly recommend you go with the manual. I had to do the darn ZF because I was planning on taking that car to Helen, and that car lasted 38 miles and got rid of it. If that tells you anything. The car's terrible.
John M. says, thanks for the design info. New house has a garage and a shop, and I can't wait to get started.
Nice.
Thanks, John. Tool grid. Yep, covered that. Ben says, any desire for Rivian R1S, or are you still an R1T kind of family?
No, I think the R1T is the way to go. I'm just waiting on the darn bed cover. I might just buy an aftermarket one. I'm waiting. There's a manual bed cover, and I'm just waiting I want the Rivian one, but it's never in stock. Yeah, I mean, the R1S is cool, but I think the T is the way to go.
Let's see. Kevin says, hey guys, I just purchased a vacuum solution at a 1322 Chrysler.
Nice.
They're amazing. What's a good product to use after I wash my floor mats to restore them? They look dried out, and I don't want them to be slippery.
Yeah. Shoot. There's that gummy fix bullcrap that I was ranting about last week. I don't like that stuff from Coach Kami that everybody loves, but that's probably the best option. You could put like Carpro Pearl, but it's going to make it a little bit slick. If you did like hyper dressing on it. What I might be inclined to do is just soak it down with hyper dressing, diluted like 5-1 or 6-1, and then just try to wipe it nice and flat. That might restore it a bit. I wonder if you tried solution finish on it, if that would work. I'm just not a rubber mat expert because we don't use rubber mats. Well, I don't use rubber mats here in Florida. Although the Rivian and the Raptor have it. You could also try just spraying it down with like Griot's interior cleaner. That tends to clean it up pretty well. That's usually how I clean mine.
Let's see. We got some wedding song recommendations here for you.
Yeah, the freaking chicken dance. That's what I'm thinking about. So there's the cha-cha slide. That's the black people version. And the chicken dance is the white people version.
That one.
If they do it at Nate's wedding, I'm going to get up and leave. I'm telling him right now.
Let's see. Cotton Eye Joe Ryan Ross says. Another vote for the chicken dance. The
Yeah,
cha-cha
I
slide.
forgot. That's the chicken dance. That's the white people one. It's the stupidest. Like, everybody just says I'm no fun, but it's just gross. The whole thing is just stupid.
Cupid Shuffle, cha-cha slide. The worst part of every wedding. I refuse to have that at my wedding.
Yeah.
That's good. Neil White says it'd be funny if someone rented out your Helen house for a wedding.
I would have to do prerequisites. No alcohol. No freaking cha-chaing. You losers.
Cha-cha all over the garage.
Or what's the other thing they do? Is it the Macarena? Yeah, they'll do that too.
Man, you go to some.
People just say I'm no fun. Well, yeah, I'm not in the business of looking like a moron.
Good stuff.
There's nothing even remotely fun about any of that. Just embarrassing. Just stupid.
Ryan wants to know, or he says, here's a suggestion. For a single car garage giveaway, get them a Rytec door and a Waterstone faucet for their shop sink.
Well, the Rytec door is going to be 60 G's, so that's all they're going to get.
Kevin, with regard to a white Tesla.
Okay.
You can speak from experience here.
Yep.
What color lock leather cleaner do you recommend for the white Tesla? My Tesla white seats don't look new. Also, my driver's seat has stress cracks in the leather. Anything I can do to restore?
Yeah, I mean, it's vinyl, so you can't really do a whole heck of a lot. You can clean it up. So I would get the Color Lock Artificial Leather Cleaner and then the Artificial Leather Protector. That's what I used on mine. So if you use, and you get the brush, get the Color Lock, the OG Color Lock brush, and if you scrub it, you'll be able to clean out all that gunk and it'll look brand new again. You won't be able to fix the cut or the cracks, but I don't think they have anything for fixing vinyl that way.
Let's see. J-Form says, what's the stupid train dance? The one where people line up and dance around the place.
My gosh.
I think there's a few songs.
The whole thing
is good. You got people talking about it.
Just unbelievably stupid.
Let's see.
So this is why I said I'm never going to a wedding again outside of my kids. And then if I'm paying for it, you ain't doing any of this crap. No DJ. Not doing any of it. No music necessary. Let's just have a civil conversation. Let's make a delicious cake that I want to eat. And let's have people get ribeyes. Like a real ribeye, not some prime rib barf or some stupid tri-tip fillet on a bed of lettuce just with some rice pilaf. You know all the hotel barf food. Just terrible.
Turkey tetrazzini. Chicken fingers.
How about you do something you want to eat? Bring me some Four Rivers brisket.
Now we're talking.
and some sweet potatoes. How about that? A real meal. It would cost half as much as frickin' slop.
Ben Finner says, I'm in the market for automotive pry bars. Do you have any suggestions?
I have some Hazets for you. It's 60% off, so hit me up. Yeah, I mean, pretty much all the companies have some pretty decent pry bars. I mean, Snap-on has they have terrible handles, but they have a decent pry bar. I have all the Sonic ones that I use all the time that are fine. The Hazet ones are pretty sweet if you want them.
All right, he's also in the market for snap ring pliers. Any recommendations there?
Knipex.
This is from Brian, considering a 3 Series.
Okay.
What's your opinion on the 6-cylinder M340i, or maybe save cash and get a 4-cylinder 330i?
Yeah, I mean, you want a 6 if you can do it with a BMW. The problem, the biggest difference, I think, is going to be the sound. The inline 6, turbo inline 6 is hopefully going to sound a little better than the 4. But I'm not sure. Those cars are kind of removed from me, so I'm not an expert in them. But I'd be inclined to want to spend the money and get the 340 instead of the 330. But then you're like, well, I'm close to the M3, so you're like, well, but then the problem is the M3 is hideous.
John M. wants to know, can you get the lifts made with black base and silver ramps for
Sure.
the OG community to order?
Yeah, we can get you whatever you need. You just got to pay for it. It's not crazy expensive, but yeah, we can definitely get you whatever colors you want.
Matt D tells me, he says, a cowboy hat would really finish that look, Chris. Can I borrow one? You got some in your office, don't you?
No, those
No?
are not allowed to be touched. They're not here. They're at my house.
In the safe.
Yep.
Any plans to continue trying out other coatings? I use the DIY 5-year coating on my company car, and it is wonderful, says Patrick.
Yeah, I'm always trying stuff. Coatings are so hard to try because, you got to do a lot of work, and then what happens if it's no good? So, yeah, I'm sure I'll try some stuff.
Aaron wants to know, any partners or on distributors for Bilt-Hamber? Curious as to who will carry them through OG.
I'm not sure yet. Once we get it established and get our transit figured out and get things moving, then we'll start to reach out to other retailers. But I have an idea, but I'm not 100% sure yet.
Brian Louderback wants to know, is a DI system really needed? How often do you use yours when washing?
I rarely use mine, but I've got really good water. Like I got a great well. I've got low iron, low mineral content, and I've got a water softener too. So I rarely need it. It just depends on where you're at and what your water's like. But part of the reason why I use it little is the CR is you blow through it really quickly. So if I had something that was a little bit more robust, like that's what we're planning, I'd be inclined to use it a lot more.
He also compliments me. This is good. I should dress up more often. Chris is looking fancy today with a button-up shirt.
What about me? I got a freaking polo on here, people. Come on.
You stand no chance.
Yeah.
Scott Taylor says, I'm making the 600-mile trip to the Nürburgring next month.
Nice.
My car is coated with CSL Exo. Mm-hmm. What product should I bring with me to keep my car looking its best?
I would bring a waterless wash. So, McKee's N914, Optimum No Rinse, DIY's rinseless, bring some sort of rinseless wash with you. So what I would do is I'd put 2 gallons in a bucket, mix it up, 128 to 1, have that there. So if you had a Gamma Seal in a bucket, we could seal up, bring with you. And then I would also bring a spray bottle with your rinseless or waterless wash in. Bring some pluffles, some towels, and some drying towels, and some towels to dunk in the bucket, and maybe bring glass cleaner as well. So I bring glass cleaner, your waterless wash, and then a bunch of towels.
Maverick wants to know, do you know the approximate cost of the ProSlat cabinet array that was installed? I'm presuming it's unlikely an entry-level, i.e. Karcher/active equivalent cabinet to be found to compete with Husky and NA.
I mean, that's a pretty big array. I think it was probably like $9,000 or $10,000 or something like that. So you're looking at, for a decent array, somewhere around $7,500 for the cabinets. But they had, Wab had 2 closets and a bunch of slat wall and other stuff. So it kind of added up.
Randall says, hey Matt, I just bought some Press-All bottles and labels and found your video very helpful while using the heat gun to install them. Can't wait for the stainless steel tips.
Yeah, just remember, those labels are still probably, some of them are going to fall off and fail, and so we're working on it. I'm working on the adhesive and everything, but if you took your time, most of them will be good.
Brandon wants to know, hey Matt, who are you going to use for window tinting now that Martin is no longer doing it?
We have to send it down to Ryan at Auto Paint Guard.
BH says, yes, we got our Friday rant. This one's about weddings. That was great. Jose says, just look at the cordless LE polisher, like Breakbuster. Bespoke product that functions well regardless of price. Yeah, there are some good ones out there. Anthony says, what did you think of Pan's new car?
Was he replacing his Turbo S with that? That's what I wasn't sure of. Or was he just adding it? So he got a Cayenne GTS. I'm not an SUV kind of guy, but it's pretty cool looking. The Cayenne is like the bare minimum of what you would consider, because it's kind of bigger than a car, but close. That's why I don't like the Macan, because the Macan is it's stupid. It's smaller than a car, just a car on stilts. Why wouldn't I just get a car? There's nothing. At least the Macan has some sport capability. But like we were talking about, what was it, the Acadia, the Highlander, the Dorkmobiles, the RX 300s of the world. Like, what in the world?
I just noticed, by the way, he has over 1 million subscribers now. 1.01 million subscribers.
Yeah, he hit that, I think,
Nice
2
job.
weeks ago. We're going to do some, so we still have to, we're almost, I think Toda's almost done with the LZ build a house in 20 minutes thing. So that'll help give us a nice little bump. And then I'm going down Thursday to see Freddie Tavares, his new garage. He's going to get us there. So he's going to get us to 1 million.
Nice.
So we're going to do some really cool collaborating and do something really cool at his place. And he's going to, really help us out. It's going to be sweet.
Let's see. What do you think of the C6 coating line from Ivan?
I don't know. I haven't tried it, but I find it hard to believe that you're going to beat the guys, the Gions and the G-Techs and the Car Pros of the world when they've been at it for so long. But I don't know. I have to try it.
Addison says, "Hey, Matt, I'm about to coat my F350.
Okay.
I have 10 microfiber and 10 foam pads of all sizes. Is that going to be enough?
Yeah, that should be good.
And then any tips when it comes to polishing for the first time?"
Have somebody come and watch you and make sure your pad is flat. So have them tell you based on what you're doing, especially if you're not paying attention, like, is your pad flat? Because if you have your pad flat, then you're going to be getting the most amount of work done. If your pad isn't flat, then you're not going to be polishing as well as you think you are. So that would be my tip to you. Be careful on edges. Don't hold in one spot too long, but don't worry about it. If it's a dual action polisher, if it's a random orbit, then you'll be fine.
Andy says, "I may have missed something others mentioning, but I can't wait for more Evo content."
Oh yeah, I got a lot of stuff planned. I got all my stereo set up. We just don't really have a garage at the moment. So first, we're going to be ramming down your throat our new garage setup. I think Mike should be over at Lena's finishing the kitchen. I hope he is. And so we need to get Lena's outdoor kitchen done. We're waiting on the part for the exhaust fan. So I'm hoping he's over there finishing that up, so that way we can then start on the garage next week. We have to go down to see Freddie next week. So realistically, we probably won't be starting until the following.
Let's
the
see.
Garage here. I'm talking about the new studio.
And Matt told me today that Evo's been off-road, going up and down that little dirt road. Right?
Yeah.
Super chat from Smart. $5 US. We need to discuss Kyle's janky garage chair. Can we get a wholesale price on Viper if I start a GoFundMe for the cause?
What does he have? Some sort of pop-up chair or something?
I don't know. I think he uses that tall. I got like that one, right? I don't know what he uses.
No, they're talking about his chair in
his house.
His house, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what he has at his house.
Yeah.
Janky garage chair.
Mm.
But yes, your $5 goes towards the wholesale purchase. Thanks, Smart. Another super chat down here, $9.99 US. Steve Owens. Hey guys, I follow for business inspiration.
Oh, thanks.
When should you quit your full-time job for a side gig that is taking off?
That's the age-old question, isn't it? For me, I didn't have they took it from me. I don't know. I would have certainly waited a lot longer. Yeah, I mean, I think if in a perfect world, you'd be able to make the transition without having to adjust or change your lifestyle or your savings plan, right? So if you're maxing out your 401k or you're putting 10% on your 401k and you're able to, have your safety fund and, if you can really do it intelligently and your spreadsheets balance out, then that would be the perfect scenario, right? I can make a nice smooth transition where I don't have to start eating, Campbell's soup and ramen noodles. I don't have to adjust my family's lifestyle. That's another thing that I'd be really cognizant of. Is you may be willing to make the sacrifice, but is everybody else willing to make the sacrifice? And sometimes you're going to have to make the decision, and just make the decision for the family as the leader of it. But does everybody else in the family want to put themselves out? Assuming you have a family or you have people that rely on you. So I just think, and it also depends on temperament. Are you a risk taker? Or are you conservative? Are you, so if you're really conservative, you may need to leap way before you're comfortable. If you're a risk taker, you may need to leap way before you're comfortable. You may want to be jumping ship early on. But I think that lifestyle number is probably your best barometer. And if you can do a simple calculation like I did, I said, well, what if I did just Obsessed Garage? What if I did both? And what if I could only do, wealth management? Well, only doing wealth management was not an option. I was pretty certain of that. What if I did both, which that was going to be really problematic for me to be able to do that? And what if I just did the one? And then if I did just Obsessed Garage, what did I think it could do if I had 100% of my attention focused on it? And so I was able to justify it that way. It was probably a little bit early for me to do it, comfortably, but because I am a little bit of a risk taker, I was able to pull it off.
Keith C. says, after testing 9 exhausts for your Evo, remind me which one did you settle in with?
Yeah, it's the Busher. So I have the Tomei O2 bung. So it's STM spaghetti manifold into the turbo. Out of the turbo is the O2 bung from Tomei. In order to have that O2 bung, I had to have the Tomei down pipe. So it's the Tomei J pipe that goes, down. And then into catless Busher resonated version. So there's a single resonator and then their MagnaFlow muffler, I believe. And so it's the Busher rear section. It's great. There's a tiny bit, especially, it's actually quieted down a little bit. There's a tiny bit of not resonant drone, but drone at say 3,000 RPMs. It's more loud than drone. It just has some character to it. So if I had a choice, it would be like maybe 12% quieter, but it's pretty good. It's pretty fun. I feel like it would be more appropriate had I been lowered with wheels and had the headlights and taillights done. Right now I'm riding stock height and stock wheels with spacers on it, so I feel like it's a little bit more in your face than maybe I'd like, but it's really good.
Turbo 6 Detail wants to know, did you finish those E30s yet?
Oh yeah, they're done and back to, I think maybe one of them is probably sold by now.
Spencer, our buddy up in the Dakotas who got your lift, wants to know, hey Matt, with having your old lift and not recessing it yet, what can I do to hide the hoses with Swiss tracks in the meantime?
They make a plate that covers the hoses, so we could probably just order one of those, I'm sure. I don't know how I threw them away because we didn't need them, but they make like a galvanized little wire chase. What we did in Helen is that we didn't want to use that because that plate is like 8 inches wide, and so it's only two or three, I think it's 2 hoses that run to the control unit. So Mike slotted the Swiss tracks, and then we bought a piece of U channel and painted it black. So just bought it. You can get it from Home Depot or just order from McMaster-Carr for $20 or $30. And then we just tucked it in, and so we slotted the Swiss tracks the same length as the U channel, which I think maybe was like 1 inch U channel. So looks like a U upside down. I painted it black, spray painted it black, and then tucked it into the Swiss track so it covered up the lines. Because the one that comes with Nussbaum, again, it's like 8 inches wide. It doesn't need to be. It doesn't look as good.
We got a couple more song choices for your wedding. Wedding reception. Blue by Eiffel 65. That's the
sounds stupid.
We Like to Party by the Venga Boys. Who Let the Dogs Out?
Oh, gosh.
Macarena. Yeah, Matt mentioned the Macarena. There you go. You got them talking today. That's good. Keith C. says, when polishing, how many pads should I be prepared per car?
I like to have 6 to 8 of each type, just to be safe.
Frank L. wants to know, what are your thoughts on race ramps? Thanks, OG.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty good. I mean, they're a little spongy for my taste, so over time they tend to fall apart. I always tended to purchase the Rhino ramps from from Walmart or the local auto parts store because they're solid plastic. But the race ramps are good.
JForm814 says, I want to thank Matt on his 991.1 versus 991.2 opinion. I couldn't swing the GTS, but did pick up an S. The NA 3.8 sounds glorious.
Yeah, I just think that having the naturally aspirated car, although inferior in every speed test, and now of course the new 992, not 992.2, is hybridized, right? So it has an electric motor and does 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds in the base Carrera or Carrera S or Carrera GTS, I guess. It doesn't have the soul. So I think that 15 or 16 Carrera GTS, which has the power kit, so it has the power bump to 430 horsepower, I think that's the best version.
Neil White wants to know, Matt, which car were you driving when you got married? And did your groomsman vandalize it with shaving?
It's funny, I actually got pulled over on the way to my rehearsal dinner. I got a freaking ticket. But I had sold my S2000. I had sold my motorcycle. Because remember, I got pulled over doing 87 and a 35 and I had to go to like the 12-hour remedial driving school with all the alcoholics. And, lost their money, or lost all their money and lost all their license, their ability to drive. Yet they all drove there somehow. None of them I was the only one there who had a license. So I had to go to that school where the guy basically spent 3/4 of the time trying to sell us his prepaid legal services, and that's why he volunteered to be the coach for this course.
Smart.
Naturally, everybody's cheating off of me, right? Because I'm the smart guy in the room. And so I sold the motorcycle, I sold my S2000, sold all my parts, and said, you know what, I'm just going to be done with cars for a while. And so I bought an RSX Type S. So I had an 05 RSX Type S, Acura RSX, and it was basically stock. Had like an intake on it that I actually bought from Nate, whose wedding I'm going to this weekend. Yeah. It was terrible. I mean, it was fine, but that lasted about 3.5 months, and then I ended up with another S2000.
Is it that color?
No, mine was the boring gray. Not silver. It was like the darker gray finish.
Gotcha.
That one. That's exactly what my car looked like.
Man.
Actually, I think mine was an 04, and I put 05 wheels on it. That was the only modification I did. Bought it for $17,000. Sold it for $17,000. Probably, Mormon Onyx, I probably sold it for $13,000. But I had it for maybe 4 or 5 months. And then I got my AP2 S2000, which I bought new, traded the RSX in, and drove that car to 135,000 miles. And then that's when I got my S4 and then the M3, and then the rest was history.
Brian D61 just watched your 4-part SEMA video series. Is Moe's Evo really that good? I've used Armor King in the past.
Armor King is garbage, so anything would be better than that. It's probably good. I haven't used it, but I know a lot of people like it, prefer it. Moe's, Seacourts UK or Seacourts, whatever their current version is, great. My preference is G-Technic Crystal Serum Light. But Armor King is Alibaba junk. Punt that stuff in the trash.
Got some insight here about Pan's car.
Okay.
So number one, I believe Pan replaced it. Likely the lease was up.
Okay. And
then Brian says it did replace Pan's 911, and it's a Cayenne S V8.
I thought it was a GTS, but whatever. It's close enough.
Yeah. Too many letters.
I mean, he has to deal with snow, right? So he has to take that into account. And he is usually a one-car kind of guy, so that would make sense that he replaced it.
Michael wants to know, any update on Australian distribution? I've also noticed you're selling drying aid through an OG copycat in Australia.
He's not a copycat. He's a friend of mine who's selling it for me. The plan, so I'm meeting with my potential partners in not next week, the following week. They're getting together. And then we're gonna sort of ink the deal and start moving forward. So the goal would be in first quarter next year start having stuff. Jeez, freaking so many calls. It's unbelievable. Michelle's mortgage, Michelle's house, they must have pulled our credit again, and so I'm getting 4,000 calls all day trying to sell me a mortgage.
Ben wants to know, do you have any experience with indexing pry bars? Is that the way to go?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that is.
All right. Do you ever have any plans to hire a highly paid web developer to build the sales site and or the hex site exactly how you like without the compromises imposed by plugins and off-the-shelf solutions?
Highly paid, no, but have somebody, yes.
There you go. Just installed the tow kit on our manual X5. Which hitch receiver plug should I get?
Yeah, that's not my.
Not your bag.
Not my level. My
Just go to
expertise.
Amazon.
No, not Amazon.
What's
check
the
out
one you got
WaySafe.
yeah.
WaySafe is the brand that I usually get anything towing related. But yeah, I'm not your guy on that one. Not sure.
What's your opinion on race ramps for basic maintenance? Is there anything better that you'd recommend? I was thinking of building a set out of wood.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying earlier, the race ramps are the best. They're the poshest, the most expensive. I'd always bought the darn Rhino ramps just because they were cheap and easy. But see those race ramps, those little 10-inch wheel chalk thingies,
Mm-hmm.
those are great. But they're $300. You never drive up on them, especially in a lowered car. You're not driving on the ramps unless you have the real long ones. So think about it that way. What I did with my Rhino ramps is I just jacked the car up and put the tire on the darn Rhino ramp. And that's why when I'm underneath my M3 trying to replace the, take the cat off and do the mid pipe, I wasn't scared of a freaking car falling on my face. So the tires are just sitting on the ramps.
Any update on the tool solutions? How close are you to completing that?
I'm working through it. I mean, I've sold a bunch of stuff to people. So Master Collection, I think I don't know, 6 months away. I got the Knipex stuff. We're trying to place that order. And then I need to get into the nitty gritty, like I'm talking about ratcheting wrenches, because I don't like what I found here. And then I don't really like the L keys. I decided from Wera. So I've got some more work to do. And then there's, hammers and crescent wrenches and all kinds of stuff I need to work on. Adjustable wrenches.
M. Minning says, Gen Y is my favorite hitch brand. This looks like something up your alley here. Mega Duty. Glider, Executive. Yeah. Worth looking at those, Ben. Do you have a wrench extender in your toolkit plans? I like the Lee Valley Tools unit, or are you a double wrench person?
Yeah, I would normally just always talking about as you do one of these deals where you double wrench it. My preference is to not have a wrench extender, but have a long handle wrench. Like the Stahlvillas have a long reach or long wrench. So Snap-on has a long wrench. I prefer to just have the long wrench, and then I find that if I do that, then I never need one of the to double it up if I can help it.
Let's see. The wallpaper strip behind you is really working with the vibe you guys have going on.
It's special. It's got we're thinking about making a T-shirt with it on it.
I think that's an incredible idea. That's good.
Some of it's already come off there.
Yeah, I don't think that was by choice. Matt, any advice on picking a lender? We'll be applying for a construction to perm loan to build a house on my lot.
I'm a big proponent of finding a local bank to start to develop a relationship with. And when you're doing, especially if you're doing anything custom or specific, going to the big banks, you might get a little bit better rate. But they're not going to portfolio. They're just going to package that up and sell it off. And so if it doesn't meet their criteria to a T, there's no one making a decision. It's just a simple algorithm, right? You have to qualify that way. Whereas, like with Michelle's house that we're buying, it's a house it's within 15 miles or whatever, something like that. So it can't be called as a vacation home because it's really close. And so I was able to sort of discuss with them, and they went to the board, and I said, look, or went to somebody who can make a decision. Say, look, why don't we just transfer our homestead to that home? Like they wanted like 35% down or 50% loan to value or something like that. And I'm like I I don't want to come up with all that cash. I'd rather just have a mortgage on the darn house. And so I said, well, let's do this. My current home has like, I don't know, 60% equity or something like that. So why don't we transfer the homestead to the new home that we're buying, and then we can do a more traditional, 20% down, and then I'll call my second home, which they hold the mortgage on that on the other home. We'll call that my second home, and so they were able to make that happen. If it was Chase, forget it. If it was Bank of America, forget it. If it was, what's that big one in up in Detroit? The one that are the big lender that, shoot,
I don't know.
It's the biggest. We've done this freaking 50 times the last one where we can't figure it out. It's the biggest. It's something.
Not Quicken, not Rocket.
Yeah,
Rocket.
Right. Rocket Mortgage or whatever. Yeah. Quicken Loans, or Rocket Mortgage. So you're not shopping for the best rate. Who cares if it's 0.2% difference? What I care about is that I have a good, solid relationship with somebody that I can work with. Everybody gets so nickel and dimey. You get that way with your investments. You get that way with your, with your bank fees. I mean, if you paid $100 in bank fees, but you had a great relationship, isn't that worth it? It is to me. And we're trying to get a free. Everyone wants that stuff for free. It's kind of like cheaping out on a cell phone. You use your cell phone all day, every day, your entire life. Buy the best one you can. Same thing with your laptop. Get the best laptop you can get. Those two things you can't live without. Same thing with a bank. I mean, instead of nickel and diming and worrying about getting the best rate, I don't even look. I just call them and say, as long as it doesn't seem like I'm getting hosed, I don't care if it's 0.1% difference. Now, if it's 2% difference, then of course, but it's not going to be, because they're going to take care of me, and they're, and then generally a bank like that, especially if you're talking about doing some custom construction or permanent, they're going to portfolio the loan, so they're going to hold on to it, especially if it's a jumbo, and so they're going to be willing to make a decision and then make concessions for you and help you out. So that's my advice. So we do all of our banking, the vast majority of any lending or anything I need with Citizens First. I have a relationship with Chase because Citizens doesn't have the back end to do international wiring and all that stuff automated, where we need to be able to just go in and do it and not have to have 47 phone calls every time we want to transfer some money back and forth. So Chase is our primary working capital account, and then most of our savings, line of credit, any mortgage, any stuff like that is done with the local bank that can make a decision.
Taylor wants to know, what's the best way to remove carbon fiber parts that are 3M taped on?
Oh,
paint is protected with PPF and ceramic coating.
Heat gun and some, it usually will come off easy. The hard part is then getting it off of the carbon fiber so you can reapply it later, reinstall it. So yeah, you just heat gun and you'll probably be able to pop it off pretty easily. You may have to use you want to try to avoid fishing lines so you don't scratch the two painted surfaces that it's sandwiched between. But you may have to fishing line it, or you may have to consider using some sort of pry tools or picks to get it to pop loose.
M. Minig wants to know, are there any chemicals you use that you're afraid to use with your dog around? My dog likes to be outside when I wash my truck.
No. I figure if I can be there, then he can be there,
Just don't drink it.
Yeah. I mean, I think you'd be safe for most things.
86 says, can't wait till you guys hit Australia, but I need an OG Polo for the job interview. We'll have some by then.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't be working for me. You'd be working for my partners, and I don't know if they're going to be as good as working for me. So we'll see.
Let's see. DS says, I need a 4-post lift, mostly for additional parking / general maintenance / detailing.
Okay.
Which one do you recommend?
The old simple one is just to do like HD9. So you go to BenPack, and HD9 is tried and true. It's Chinese built, but it works and works well and looks good and looks the part. So I'd be considering doing like one of the wider ones so that we have a little more room to work. But yeah, I mean the HD9, I think it's called HD9 HD. It might be HD or XL or something like that, and That's the 4-post lift that I would generally recommend.
All right, Aaron gave you 3 polisher choices.
Okay.
He wants you to rank them in order. Best all-in-one micro polisher.
Okay.
So you got Flex PXE 80,
Mm-hmm.
LE A1000,
Mm-hmm.
ShineMate EB210.
From what I can tell, I haven't gotten the ShineMate, but from what I can tell, the ShineMate's probably the best of those choices. I need to order one. I think Nick Parks is it seemed like he might be the exclusive distributor for it. And Parks Detail. It looks to me like that's probably the one. Hurts my soul to say ShineMate is the best, but looks like for once in their lives they didn't just steal something; they actually made something. So it sure appears that one is the best all-in-one small polisher. But I still use the Nano. I need to get one of those EBs and see how it is.
Cabes says, "Hey Matt, did your brakes ever squeak in your G80? Outside of brake dust, are there any advantages to ceramic brakes if you don't track?"
Yeah, I mean, they're freaking awesome. They're lighter unsprung weight, so your car will be faster. The squeaking on ceramics comes from buildup of brake dust, right? Even though you can't see it, it's finer. That dust buildup is what makes them squeaky. So what you need to do is you make sure you blow it out with your pressure washer or your hose when you're washing, and that'll help with the squeaking.
While we were trying to think of the bank names or lender names, Ally and Rocket Mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
Also, UWM is about as big now and also based in Michigan.
Mm.
Zach agrees with you. Developing relationships is key for all of business and life. Wise to implement that approach with finances and lending.
Yeah, I mean, if you have an $1,800 checking account, doesn't frickin' matter, But as you come up in the world, you'd be better off. And let's say you're an employee, leverage the relationship that your employer has. If you're a good employee and your employee, like Chris should be banking or considering doing his mortgage and stuff through Citizens, because he can leverage that relationship that we've been developing with them. So you can leverage the fact that we have a lot of money on deposit and we're doing a lot of different things with them. So and then it's also easier because they know what you got, and your financials are with them anyway, and it just makes life simpler. And then especially if your business banking is done through them, and then you want to do something on the personal side, then the business banker will make sure the personal people get it done for you because they don't want to lose the relationship. It's just developing that relationship is key, and knowing that somebody at that bank can make a decision, and the big banks can't do that. There is nobody. It's an algorithm. You don't meet the criteria. Sorry. For us to package that loan up and sell it off. So you want a bank that has deep enough pockets to be able to provide you the line of credit or the mortgage that you need, but not so big that they don't have humans making decisions.
Yanni has some advice for us. Do not put silicone dressing on floor mats. Transfers to your shoes and then to the pedals and makes them crazy slippery.
Oh, there you go. That's
Sounds
smart.
like he's speaking from experience.
Yeah.
Our buddy James up in Indianapolis says, "Hey Matt, it was good seeing you in Indy. We'll be down in July. Can't wait to see the new place."
Nice. Well,
James.
Might not be much to see yet. We'll see.
Hopefully we'll have some new hats by then, because he's a fellow big-headed brother, that James. Which brand of oil would you recommend besides AMSOIL for a S550 V8 Mustang? Would it be better to go with Motorcraft?
My friend Ed Camden sent me what was that company? There's some bespoke oil manufacturer. Shoot, I can't remember. I saved it in my favorites. I don't know if you're gonna want to go there because I think it was it's probably $80 a quart or something crazy. Motul, AMSOIL, and Liqui Moly, or Mobile, one would generally be my choices.
All right, couple more questions here, then we'll call it a day. This is from Don. "Hey Matt, I need to buy a couch. Where do I need to go, and which brand do you recommend?"
Boy, I don't know, man. This is the question. Yeah, I'm not sure yet. I gotta answer that question myself. It was always used to be Lazy Boy, But Lazy Boy's a good bet if you're looking for, under $4,000 couch, $4,000 or $5,000 couch that does okay. They've got some decent choices. They've got fabric choice and stuff like that. But I think I'm a little beyond that now from a quality perspective. But Lazy Boy's a good bet. If you go in there, they have some really cool looking couches and some different options that you can choose from that are pretty functional. Other than that, I don't know what the heck to do. I'm not sure yet. The ones for Michelle's house, we're going to have custom made. So we're going to go to Scott's Antique. The ones in Helen, I had custom made, but I don't love them. For my house, when we remodel it, I'm not sure what the heck I'm going to do. Dave Chapman told me about, my friend Dave told me about a brand, starts with a V. Let me see if I can, let's see, oh. Let's see here. I think I have it in the Helen list. There's a couch he told me to consider getting. Canadian appliance list, destination OG. No,
we're getting used to doing these without headphones, by the way.
I like it with headphones better.
Yeah, me too. It's kind of strange, but I just now noticed.
Shoot, I deleted it. You freaking idiot. I said, no, I'm never going to need that. I'm not doing it. Dang it. My list of Helen is, that I have left to do is not that much.
Well, if we can transition from couches to water real quick here.
Okay.
Can you briefly explain the difference between water softener water, RO water, DI water, and distilled water?
So, I believe distilled and DI is the same result, and it's mineralless water, but a different process. Distilling, I think, I don't know what it is. I don't know. Whatever I say is going to be wrong. Deionization is to use a resin base, little resin beads that water runs. Think of it as like water dripping across pebbles, right? So the water gets pushed through the resin beads in order to make it from start to finish. What's happening is that the beads are attracting anything in the water and pulling it out. The distillation process, how do they do that? Do they boil it, turns into water vapor, and they capture it? Is that how it works?
Let's see. It's gone through the process of distillation to remove impurities, boiling water, collecting the steam, which returns to water upon cooling.
Yep.
Much like
I think distillation, where you see that little squiggly, beaker-looking thing, they boil it, and then the vapor runs through the little tube and then drops out the other side. So distilled water, the way that they get it they boil it and then capture the steam and turn it back into water. The deionization is to do it with resin. The reverse osmosis water is to use advanced filtration. So you would have generally 3 or 4 stages of filtration that is designed to hopefully help with all types of everything except for microbes. Generally bacteria and stuff isn't filtered out from reverse osmosis. In order to do that, you would need a UV light. So RO, reverse osmosis water, is a sophisticated multi-part filtration system. So it goes through a just say thicker to thinner filter, if you will, or a more dense filter that can remove more material. Reverse osmosis is generally very slow. Like the flow rate is not great. So you can't pass a lot of water through it quickly. So generally, like if you look underneath your sink, you'll have a little tank, a little receiver tank. So that way, as you drain the tank, as you're using it, you're not filtering like real-time water running through it. It's water that was already sort of prepared. And then softened water is you'd have I don't know if it's a carbon tank, but you have a tank. They use salt as a brine in order to recharge or to clean up the the resin that's in the softener, and so it's not adding salt to the water; it's using salt to clean out the resin in the tanks, the treatment tanks. Then you have iron removing, you have carbon filtration, you have sediment filtration, and so it just depends on what condition your water is in. softened and reverse osmosis water is not completely mineralless water, so generally preferred for drinking. And so DI and distilled, I was always under the impression, Varellin, that's it. Did Dave chime in?
No, that was our own Manny there. Manny Oliver.
Yeah, Varellin, yeah. And Varellin is the couch that
fancy couches.
that Dave Chapman sent me to look up. So I was always under the impression that if you drank DI water, it would leach your body and you'd die. But I might have made that up because I think I read something that's nonsense.
So what are you currently drinking? You have your spring, whatever.
So I'm drinking just straight out of the darn spring, Mountain Valley, out of glass, right? So comes in glass, so there's hopefully no plastics, and it's coming from the something Shenandoah Mountains and the Ozarks or something like that, and up in Alabama or somewhere, and so that has minerals in it.
All right, a couple more here. Charlie, the almost super beagle. Do you obsess about rattles in your cars? People make fun of me for trying to chase down every little noise.
Yeah, they bother me. Like the E36 has quite a few, but yeah, the fix, sometimes the fix is worse than the problem. So you just kind of have to deal with it. Sometimes I'll just get a new car.
Street Spec wants to know, has the small head of the Koken come in handy in your experience?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice, especially on the 3/8 ratchets that have the 3/8 anvil on a 1/4 inch head. So it is a really small head and then it has the 3/8 size anvil to put your socket on it. Those are really cool.
Is it better to use an acidic or a non-acidic wheel cleaner on ceramic coated wheels?
Oh, non-acidic always.
All right. That's all we got for this week. So, if you, like Matt, are attending a wedding this weekend, I apologize and feel sorry for you, but send us video. And thank you for all the questions. We appreciate it. I think we might be back next week. You're going to Freddy's, that's just Thursday?
Thursday we're going down there. Yep. And
the following weekend is M-Wave. I know you're.
Yep. So I'm going, and I'll make a video at the M-Wave home theater convention with my friend, Michael Stevens, Youth Man, and Rusty Mensch will be there, and so I'll shoot some behind the scenes footage of that, some of the home theater stuff that goes on there. So I'm excited about that whole process. So that's our. We may be working on Obsessed Home Theater and what we're going to do there. So yeah. Lots of cool stuff coming up.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
See ya.